For our Design a Drug project, we created the drug Nopine. Nopine is designed to target the neurotransmitter norepinephrine. In our society, many people struggle with some variation of anxiety, whether it's from school, work, family life, etc. Our society is constantly on the go, and that causes people to build up a lot of stress and anxiety. When we feel this stress and anxiety, the neurotransmitter norepinephrine is released into our brain to help us figure out how to deal with it. Norepinephrine is responsible for our fight or flight response. And so this means that it affects how a person responds to anxiety and stress. It increases our heart rate and blood pressure, provides more energy to the body so that we're able to act in high stress situations, and it increases alertness and reaction time. So we chose to target this neurotransmitter in order to help reduce levels of anxiety. Right here is the structure of norepinephrine, and this is a diagram showing when it is released, and then how it goes about, and then eventually binds to its receptors in order to do its job.
Norepinephrine can bind to alpha and beta adrenergic receptors, which are both G-coupled protein receptors. Because we want to limit the effects of norepinephrine, we have Nopine act as an antagonist that binds onto receptors that bind to norepinephrine, and thus we indirectly decrease the effects of norepinephrine. The specific receptor we target is the beta-1 receptor, which is found in heart, kidney, and fat cells. Activation of beta-1 increases heart rate, impulse conduction, contraction, as well as renin release in the kidney, and lipolysis in fat cells. Because anxiety can be associated with increased heart rate, we want to limit that increased heart rate from occurring by targeting the receptor whose binding to norepinephrine leads to that symptom. This drug can also be used to treat other disorders involving high heart rate and high blood pressure. We decided to keep the dosage low to prevent side effects and to also keep the heart rate from becoming too low.
So what are the possible side effects of using our drug? One of them is that it could cause a deficit of norepinephrine in the body, and this can result in depression, a poor attention span, ADHD, a lack of energy, and changes in blood pressure, specifically hypertension, as well as mania. And some major conditions also related to low norepinephrine levels are chronic fatigue, hypotension, depressive disorders, and other mood disorders. It can also cause an excess of norepinephrine, which can cause the paroxysmal sympathetic hyperactivity. And this is when the body is stuck in fight or flight mode. Some related symptoms to this condition are chronic stress, anxiety, and increased heart rate, constricting pupils, high blood pressure, and excessive sweating. Furthermore, it can also cause symptoms of schizophrenia. Thank you.
All right, so now we're going to go into why your pharmaceutical company should invest in our new anti-anxiety medication, Nopine. As we all know, college can cause an immense amount of stress among the student body. We have to deal with heavy workloads to complete in a short amount of time. We're balancing about 4 to 5 classes, trying to put our energy into each and every one of them to make sure our grades are good. Unfortunately, sometimes this can lead to some disorganization, incompletion of tasks here and there, and then this can start to make our grades worse, which then stresses us even more, and it's a repeated cycle that harms our mental health. We have a lot of high academic anxiety. Sometimes this is test-taking anxiety or public speaking anxiety, and these create those physiological symptoms we see, such as the fight or flight response, an increased heart rate, shaking, sweaty palms, increased blood pressure, and all of these are a direct result of a specific anxiety trigger. In college, we also see a lot of social anxiety because we go from our high school environment with people we've known for many years, and all of a sudden we're in an entirely new environment, meeting new people. It's very stressful, it's uncomfortable. It does get better as time goes on, but this is something that is very prevalent in college and high school both. We also have a lot of personal pressure to do well, whether this is intrinsically within ourselves, pressuring ourselves, telling ourselves we need to get perfect grades, we need to do amazing, otherwise we're failing, otherwise we don't have as much worth. And these are all not true, but it's something that we experience. There's also a lot of external pressure, whether this be from family members or parents pressuring us to get perfect grades, whatever it is. There's also like a sense of competition sometimes among other students, kind of comparing yourself academically and socially to other people, which can also be detrimental. And in college, we also see a change in habit or a change in diet and sleeping habits, because we go from, again, our high school environment where we're so used to those home cooked meals and getting better sleep. And then in college, we're staying up later, trying to complete work. We're making our own food, fending for ourselves. And oftentimes this leads to changes in diet and sleeping. And worst comes to worst, this can cause, all of these factors combined can cause an individual to withdraw from friends and family and isolate themselves, which is always a bad sign, might be a sign of depression or extreme anxiety. And obviously it's very important to reach out to these individuals to make sure they're okay, feel supported. But all in all, NOPEAN can ease these feelings of anxiety, these physiological symptoms that we see among students that harm their mental health and are altering their college experience and not making it what it should be. And especially during this time period, during the pandemic, online learning does harm our mental health as well, because we do not have the same academic and social balance in our life. Our lives are mostly routine right now and surrounded by waking up and doing schoolwork all day, going to sleep, waking up, doing schoolwork, and we're not getting as much social interaction as we used to, which is very important in keeping a balanced life and keeping happy. So the student body deserves a positive college experience in which their mental health is the best that it can possibly be. And that is what NOPEAN can do for us. Next, we have our sources here, and I just want to give a big thank you to your company for listening to our proposal. I hope you consider it, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you.